YouTube, Mike here, and today in this video we are looking at one of, if not the best player in FIFA 21, Marcos Acuna. This is the fully upgraded review, 98 5-5 upgrades. So this is post Copa America victory for Marcos. We have a full breakdown. We're going to look at his stats. We're going to look at his player model. We've got highlights from our games with him. I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. This card is absolutely insane. He's relatively cheap for how good of a card he is. I mean, I think he's floating around a little bit over a mil. He might drop here and there over the next couple days and then bounce up for the weekend. But you can get him that 1.1, 1.2 mil range. He's a little bit pricier than, say, like Verratti, but I think that I think that having played with both, I think he's a much better player. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys are enjoying these player reviews. I'm trying to think. I think we're going to do a couple more in the next few weeks. I know we haven't done one in a while. I've been doing some pack content, some competitive weekend league stuff, but I'm going to try to mix these in. I know those team of the season players are getting to the point where they're a little bit outdated, but I'm still thinking about maybe trying to do one for the Red Louis we got. I think I'm going to do Summer Stars Isaac. But let me know if there's other players you guys are interested in seeing that you've seen in my squad or are curious about that maybe aren't super crazy expensive. My budget's getting a little bit tight. Buying players for all these weekend league pluses and so forth, so on and so forth. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right to it. Hey guys, welcome back. As you know, in this video we're talking about Marcos Acuna. Um, I think that at this point in the game, this is a card that's regarded as probably the best player in FIFA 21. I don't think that that's a stretch based on his current upgrades. A lot of people that I follow and look at content creator wise and on the competitive scene hold him in regard as not only one of the best players in FIFA 21, but amongst the best cards ever in FIFA Ultimate Team history. Uh, just looking at the card without even getting into the stats, uh, it's just absolutely insanity. um, don't look too much at my in-game stats because over the course of the past week or so, I've played with two different cards. I had one, then I sold it for the Weekend League Plus, and then I bought another one. So lost a little bit of coins, but overall, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal. So I've only played 7 games with this one. Probably played not a huge amount of games with him, period. Maybe 25, 30. But, that's all that it takes to realize how insane this card is. Uh, so we'll start looking at his player bio. So as you can see, high work rate, excellent for. I use him as a cam. You could having that high attacking work rate can some people. I think it's great, but some people prefer to have medium high on CDMs or high medium on attacking players. But high I think is great for him because he's such a good defender. 5-5 skill moves. I think that's the key to why he's so insane now. He got that upgrade because Argentina, they won the 6 or 7 games. I can't remember what the threshold was, but they won the Copa. I think they drew 1 game in there, so it took them to win the Copa to get that final upgrade. He is left-footed. He's 5'8", and he has like a strong build, like a stocky build. We'll talk a little bit about the player model here in a second. Again, can't really look at our in-game stats, or not our in-game stats, our player record, just because we've used 2 different cards. But 6 goals in 7 games at playing out as an attacking midfielder or as a striker, I think is says enough about his ability to contribute going forward. All right, so taking a look at his in-game stats, I mean, he really has no flaws. He's fast. He's an amazing attacker. 88 finishing. If you're going to play him as a striker, which you absolutely could, I would boost that. So you might want to give him Hawk or Hunter maybe, or if you're okay with just the 95 speed, there's a myriad of things that you can give him. I give him Hawk to boost that finishing up a little bit. But shooting stats insane. You're seeing 99s everywhere. Looking at his passing, same thing. 99s all over the place. Dribbling, 99s all over the place. 95 agility is good enough. If you're playing him deeper, maybe you could give him engine to max that out if you really want him to be maxed out. Defense is incredible. I mean, you don't really need to boost that at all. Heading accuracy, jumping is average. He's 5'8", so don't expect him to really be an aerial threat. He's everything else besides that, but that's still if he does win a header, I think that's good enough that you'll be fairly accurate. Strength, stamina, aggression. I mean, what can I say? Like I said, there's really no flaws. I mean, you could say heading. That's his flaw if you want to really be picky. But this card can do whatever you want in whatever your role you want. I mean, maybe you don't want him as a center back. He still would be an insane center back just because he's fast and amazing at defending. But maybe on corners or something, he wouldn't be the best center back option if somebody has big forwards or defenders that they're aiming towards. You can play him as a fullback either side. You can play him as a winger either side. You can play him as a midfielder, attacking or defensive. You can play him as a striker. So you can play him as a center back. I mean, you can't play him in goal probably, but he would be amongst the best players in the game. Like, not only can you play him in all those positions, he would be probably, if not the best option at any of those positions, one of the best options at one of those positions. The only thing I would say is he's such a good card in an attacking role that you probably don't want to waste him in a defensive role. So that's the only drawback, is that you can't play this card in multiple positions. So I think that's enough said about how great his stats are. Looking at his traits, he has the outside of the foot shot, which they literally give to everyone. Nobody gets finesse, but everybody gets outside the foot. He has flair, long passer, technical dribble. Those are CPU traits. Right now he's on 7, so you're not seeing that full boost, but I'm messing around with how I want to use him in terms of setting up, in terms of chemistry, because he doesn't really need that big of a chemistry boost, so I sacrifice his chemistry a little bit to get other people maxed out. This is how I'm using him in my team currently. Well, don't ignore that. This is how I have my team set up for chemistry purposes, but in game, this is the formation that I've been running, the 3-4-1-2, which is, I think, like a more, I don't want to say a more attacking variation of like the 5-3-2. I like that, the differences between it and the 5-3-2. As you can see, I'm using fullbacks as my outside midfielders, although they're very attacking fullbacks, Team D or Davies, and 96 or fully upgraded Paredes. I have De Jong and Phillips in those holding midfield roles, and then I'm able to kind of release Acuna. So this is kind of almost the opposite of how I would set up my center mid if I was running a 5-3-2. In a 5-3-2, I would have that center midfielder as the CDM, and then the other two kind of as a more balanced or getting forward instructions. Whereas in this formation, which I've actually had more success with lately, Acuna is that attacking presence who can also come back and defend, but sitting as a cam behind Louis and Neymar. So that's how I set up. Instructions wise, I have him on basic defensive support and then get into the box for crosses. I want him on counterattacks, bursting forward and having those 3 central attackers, or if they're not playing with 3 central backs, hopefully, like, if they're all 3 on a counterattack or when I'm attacking, like, there's going to be a hole where one of them can get through, hopefully, if they're all 3 pushing into the box. And it kind of takes those, with those overlapping runs from Davies and Paredes, it kind of takes those fullbacks out of the equation so that I'm just targeting the middle. Or if they're playing like a more narrow, or whether it be 5 at the back or 3 at the back, I can use those wingers that space out wide to get into the box, get to the byline, and then play driven passes across the goal line to one of these attackers. So that's kind of how I've been set up, just to give you guys a quick breakdown. Yeah, so next we'll get into some highlights, or sorry, next we'll get into the in-game player model, and then we'll have some highlights at the end. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Until then, I'll see you guys. Hey guys, welcome back. In this portion of the video, we are going to take a look at his in-game player model. So as I mentioned in the breakdown, he does have a stocky body type. This is his face scan. I'd say it looks pretty detailed. Again, this is current gen. I've got him wearing the Argentina kit. So stocky body type, 5'8". Detailed player model. In terms of in-game accessories, as you can see, he wears the white wristbands on both wrists. He's got the green boots. I don't think he has a unique player movement type, but he does have that stocky build, which helps him. Because he's a shorter player, I think it's not like a super huge body type. I still think he has that agility and that nimbleness around the box that sometimes you don't get with like bigger, like kind of that high average body type, like what you get with the Hollands or the Kanes or the even like Henry's, Benzema, where they're a little clunkier. I feel like with those little touches. I haven't really experienced that much with the stocky players, the Adamas, Rooney, Acuna. I think they actually feel, even though they're stockier than that high average body type, they feel better on the ball, if that makes sense. I think that a lot of players would agree with that, but that's kind of been my experience in this game. So that's just how he looks running. As you can see, Torres is pressuring him a little bit. But yeah, that's his in-game body type, in-game player model. We'll get into some highlights, and then thanks guys. Acuna, you are a freak, my man. Oh my goodness. You just can't get the ball off him. Is that it already? Nice, Acuna. His first goal. I told him to finesse it. I think he did, which was a weird finesse. So he finessed it like into the keeper, but it still went in. Acuna Matata. I don't know how he fit it in there. Acuna is a freak, man. A freak. That was like a finesse shot with like velocity. Nice, Acuna. Nice. FOFs. That was really Acuna that created that. Nice shot, Acuna.